Hi, it's Stu Bear, and today Heather is going to show us how to make this fabulous festive meringue.
To begin, I'm going to start off by making the meringue for my Pavlova Wreath the night before I actually plan on assembling it. What this does is, it's just because when I bake it, I'm going to put it in the oven for an hour, but then it needs to cool completely whilst it's in the oven. So that just gives me all overnight for it to cool in the oven without opening the door, and that just helps prevent crackage of the meringue as much as we can. So to start, I'm gonna start making my meringue. I've got 5 large egg whites in here, and I'm gonna start whisking that on a medium speed to begin with. I'm gonna leave that to mix until we start just until it starts frothing, and then I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. All this does is it just helps to stabilise the egg whites. So now that my meringue is starting to form soft peaks, I'm going to slowly add in my 300 grams of caster sugar, just a tablespoon at a time, nice and steadily. And then just keep going with this until all your caster sugar is added, and hopefully will form stiff peaks. So I've finished whisking my meringue into stiff peaks, so I'm going to stop that now. That's ready for us to start the shaping process. So what I'm going to do is, I've already drawn on a piece of parchment paper a pre-drawn template, just so I know where my mixture needs to go. Real simple, I just drew around a plate and then around a bowl in the centre. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just gives us some sort of guidelines as to where we want it to go. So taking a large spoon, I'm going to start dolloping my meringue mixture evenly around this tray. Right, so get the first spoonful, just put it on there, and I'm just going to repeat this all the way around the board until the mixture is evenly spread. So now I've finished just spooning my mixture onto my pre-drawn template. I'm just going to, using an offset palette knife, just smooth it slightly, just to get it a little bit neater, and then it also just allows you to just neaten the shape up a little bit, just like so. Like, I don't think this has to be perfect by any means. Like, I think the rustic approach almost makes it look better. Just to add a little bit of decoration, this is entirely optional, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine to bake as it is. I'm just going to, using the back of the butter knife, just make small little edges like this. Like I say, completely optional, you don't have to do this by any means. I just think it adds a bit more effect to it. There we go, like I say, completely optional. You don't have to do that if you don't want. I think it just adds a bit more decoration to it. So I've had my oven preheated to 130 degrees fan, 150 conventional. I'm going to put that in the oven and bake it for 1 hour. And then this step's really important. You need to switch your oven off and then leave it in the oven until it completely cools. If you don't do this, if you just get it out straight away, what you're going to find is you're going to have lots and lots of cracks all around your meringue, which we don't want if we can avoid. So like I say, this is just going to go in the oven now. I've just got my meringue out the oven, which I had in overnight to cool. Now we can start making the toppings for our White Forest Pavlova Wreath. So in here I've just got some dark forest berries, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to simmer these down with 50 ml of orange juice and also 100 grams of caster sugar. I'm going to cook those down for about 10 minutes, And then once they start to soften, I'm going to add in some corn flour just to thicken up the syrup. Then I've just finished making my Black Forest compote. I'm just going to set this aside now to cool down. And whilst we're doing that, I'm going to start making my cream to put on the pavlova. Now I'm ready to start whipping up my double cream. So I've got 450 ml of double cream in here, which I'm going to add to my mixer. You can also mix this by hand as well. I just find it a bit easier on the arms to do it in a mixer. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of icing sugar also going in. And then I'm also just going to add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Like so. I'm just going to start whisking this together just until it starts holding its shape. Don't go too far with it. We just want it to be nice and softly whipped together. Now I've finished mixing my cream, so I'm going to start putting that into a piping bag. Equally, if you just wanted to spoon it on, that's absolutely fine. That will still look amazing. You don't have to pipe it by any means if you don't want to. So like I did when I did my rose cupcakes, I'm going to use a vase and fold the piping bag over it just to help me get the cream in. And then using a spatula, I'm just going to start putting this into my piping bag like so. Like I say, I'm going to pipe this into little cream kisses around the Pavlova Wreath, but by no means you don't have to do that. If you don't want to, or if you don't have the piping equipment, just spoon it on, that's absolutely fine. Or you could use a palette knife to spoon it on and then make a shape through it. That's equally just as fine. So there we go. That's all in my bag now. So I'm gonna lift it up. So. Lift it up and start squeezing the cream down the bag. As you can see, push it down nice and firmly so we don't get any air pockets trapped in. Keep pressing. There we go. Hopefully we can do it like that now. Yeah. So now I've got a nice amount of pressure, I'm just going to twist the top of my piping bag, as you can see. So let's start piping it onto here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do evenly spaced out kisses and see how we get on from there. So now, as you can see, I finished piping my cream kisses onto the top of the meringue. My fruit compote is cooled down nicely. So I'm ready to start the last step, which is just putting this on top. I'm just going to use this spoon just whilst I put the berries on it first, just to try and drain some of the sauce out, and then save that for after for drizzling on top. So I'm just going to drizzle these fruits onto the wreath like so. Just spoon them. Don't worry if they start sliding down, that's fine, that's part of the effect we're going for. Carry on doing this all around like so. Hopefully all these nice juices are going to start running down the meringue, make it look all beautiful. For my last finishing touches, just to make this look super pretty, what I'm going to do is just sprinkle some lovely homegrown mint sprigs around it, just to give it the green, make these colours really pop out. So that's just going to go across it like that, make it super, super pretty. like so. Carry on doing that all around until we get back to the start. There we go, nice. And then I've got some white chocolate curls that I've already made. Really simple to do. You just need a bar of white chocolate, and then with a knife just gently scrape the chocolate towards you, and it comes off in shards like this, which are perfect for decoration. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these on top like that. All around. Being careful, it's a problem with these, they're so flimsy, very easy to break. Keep that going. And this just gives our white forest element to the standard black forest flavours. Here we have my white forest gatto Pavlova Wreath. Perfect for any Christmas parties you've got coming up, even for the big day itself or any festive occasion.
Wow, as always, explained absolutely perfect. Thank you very much, Heather, and make sure you stay tuned to Stu Bear's Mr. Foodie's YouTube channel. So much more coming up. Don't forget, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.